Hi, I'm Tony with Advantage Lifts. I'm here to tell you a little bit today about our new side-by-side lift. What a great idea to where you can have two cars up and two cars underneath. This lift is a really big one. This one works great in garages that have the 16-foot wide single door in their house. And think about putting two lifts in that 16-foot opening. You have two sets of posts right in the middle that you have to drive between. With this side-by-side, you can raise two cars up, drive in your daily drivers underneath of it just like you would always driving into your garage at this time. Let me tell you some features and benefits about this unit. This is a 10,000 pound capacity lift, meaning you can put two 5,000 pound cars on there. Or you don't necessarily have to have both cars on the lift. If you decide you want to put one car on one side and put decks on this side and make this a mezzanine, you can put the garage clutter like the lawnmower, the snowmobile, or whatever it might be to raise that up, clear up the floor in the bottom to drive your cars underneath. It works wonderfully. You'll notice on this lift we have a crown. There's a bow in this crossbar right here, about 1.5 inches. It's crowned up. That's designed to be that way, just like you see them semi-trailers going down the road that's got that crown when it's empty. When you put the load on it, it comes down nice and level. We're the only company out there that does that. It gives you a no sag, no bow in your lift when you get your cars on there at all. Some of the features you're going to find about this lift is that we have 48-inch aluminum ramps instead of the 36-inch. The reason for that is we're coming up a taller crossbeam. So we still give you the longer ramp so you can still drive that Corvette up on here without any drag at all. You get a set of 8 aluminum stops that can go insert into. Once you're on the lift, you put these on, now the car can't roll off of the lift. That's front or back. On our lifts, there's not a front or back, so I can drive on that end or I can drive off this end. Either direction you can put your ramps. Some of the products that come with the purchase of the side-by-side, of course, is the lift. You get 2 of the rolling jack trays. This tray allows you to put a bottle jack in there or one of our air jacks that we have to put in here to raise the car up. If you want to do some work on your car while it's on this lift, this will raise it up off the track so you can get to the tires and brakes. You get a set of 4 of the plastic drip trays that come with it to catch any leaks that you might have from the top car dripping onto the bottom car. We also get a set of 3 aluminum deck walkways. What this does is when you drive this car up on this side and you get out, you're not having to step between the 2 sets of tracks. It makes it a lot easier to get in your car once it's on the lift. So that comes with it as well. And then another set of drip trays and another jack tray for the other lift as well. And 1 set of 48-inch aluminum ramps. What makes Advantage Lifts so much better than the other competition that's out there is that we put so much more steel inside of our lifts. They're a lot heavier, they're built sturdier, and they're all outside slider design. We have what is called outside slider, which is a square 6x6 sleeve, a steel sleeve that wraps around a 5x5 post. What that does for you, you don't have no wiggle and wobble in the post versus the C-channel that you have an open side. It allows lots of movement in them lifts. There's not that movement, so it gives you a real sturdy feeling when you're underneath the car. We have very big locks. They're 3/4 inch steel locks that go into and sets in, and it's like a deadbolt. It goes into the post itself. You have down pressure coming. You have a stop plate that it rests on, completely safe. The best lock system on the market today. We use 1.5 inch axles that go through to hold that, biggest in the industry. We put snap rings on the outside of that to keep that from ever coming off if your collar comes loose. All of our linkage is bigger linkage with big heims. Another feature that we've done on our lifts is we've got what's called cable keepers. You have a pulley underneath the track that the cables wrap around. We have a bolt that runs right up beside that, and I'll show you that later when we raise the lift up, but it keeps all the cables on the pulleys. That's the problem that causes the breakage, is when that cable comes off of the pulley and it starts rotating on the shaft instead of the pulley, it cuts the cable in two. So we've eliminated that problem of the cable popping off of the pulley. But for your safety, we put a second cable slack lock on there as well. Some of the benefits that you're going to find right here that we do over the others is I want you to notice our base plates down here in the bottom. That's a 12x12 plate of steel, 5/8 inch thick. The reason we do it so thick is because when you weld this post down here to that plate, if it's not that thick diameter, what happens, so it creates so much heat, it warps those plates. and it gets you on a rocking chair before you even get started, it's moving. This gives you a nice solid foundation, you get a good weld, and it's a flat surface to start off with. The second thing, we do a 5x5 post. Competition out there you'll find is a 4x4 post. We think just bigger is better. It also inside, dimension is 1/4 inch diameter, so it's a heavy piece of metal here that goes up, that's riding your post, your lift up and down. We do drill holes on the base plate as well. If you want to anchor this to the floor, you can. It doesn't have to be anchored. They are designed to be freestanding as well. You'll notice this crossbar is a big piece of metal as well. We use a 2x5 piece of tubing, and then we plate both sides with a piece of angle to give it the strength and the arch that we need to make that span over 16 feet long. Some dimensions you're going to find on this lift is if you're wanting to measure your garage from the outside of this base plate to the outside of the base plate in width is 17 feet 5 inches. The length of it from the base plate to the base plate is 17 feet exact. So you can easily go out and measure in your garage and see if that's going to fit for your unit. You'll notice the height of it. These poles are 8 foot 9 inches tall. When you're on this top lock here, you have 6 foot 11 inches clearance underneath. Gives you plenty of room to put a 4-wheel drive pickup underneath of it and a car on top if you have the ceiling height. This is a very versatile lift. Another feature with this side-by-side is that our tracks are really heavy built. We reinforce them. You look right inside here, there's a rail that's welded from one end of the track to the other. There's 2 reasons for that rail. Number one, when I weld that completely on the inside of that track, it stiffens the track. We don't get any sag, no flex in these tracks at all. The second benefit, which is very nice, is all of our jack trays roll on wheels. So this rolls real nice and easy instead of an angle that comes up and runs on the top. The problem with them ones that run on the top, when you go to push it, it jams and gets in a bind as you go down the track. Plus, if you have a wide track tire, a lot of times that piece of angle hits the tire and it doesn't allow you to slide it back and forth. With this setting down on the track makes it simple to be able to roll back and forth at an ease. You'll notice we even put a drain in the middle of our jack tray to where if you happen to dump water on there, antifreeze, oil, whatever, you can easily drain it out of that one without having to take it off. You'll notice we also box in our tracks on the back side here. And when I raise it up, I'll show that. But that gives you a real strong feeling when you drive the car up on there and have no sway or sag at all. Okay, I want to talk to you about a very important part of this lift, which is your locks. Once you get the car up there and it's in storage mode, you want to be rest assured that it's setting solid on some locks. Well, like I told you a minute ago, this is a 3/4 inch plate steel lock that we cut out. And when we raise this up, I want you to see how this works. This lift comes open, the lock handle moves about a 1/2 inch. At this point, I have a single point lock handle that I can open up. That opens up all 4 locks on each post at one time. So now, as you see with the tooth open, I'm able to go down and it's not going to catch in the lock teeth. So, for instance, I can release my lever and you'll see it goes down. Now, if I'm going up, all I got to do is let go of that. There's a high tension spring on there. So as the lift goes up, you're going to see them ratchet into the lock. So they've engaged in now at this point. But at this point, you can see that it's not on the casement of the post. It's not on the lock. So what we're going to do is lower it down, and you watch how this traps that into that lock tooth. All your weight is down force. I have a stop right here that's resting on the back of this lock. You know, we have an axle here, and I can show you a demonstration with my finger. If I put weight on this clear out here, I got a lot of pressure on my knuckle, right? But by putting this plate in here, going out as far as that lock, that gives me a lot bigger stop. I got a more secure locking surface for that to set on. So I'm secured. With this being on the lock, I don't have to worry about my cars below, or if I've got kids walking underneath the lift, it's very secure. And with this outside slider, once again, the benefit is it cannot slide this way or this way to slide on that lock. It is on that lock until you raise it up and open it back up. Now that we got the lift raised up, I want to show you some of the benefits that we've done underneath the lift as well. First thing I want to talk about is with our cable block right here. You'll notice that we have 2 wheels that are mounted on the outside of this block. What that does is, this is a honed cylinder, so when that shaft goes in and out, it wants to turn. Most of them are going to turn this block, and it's just going to scrape the bottom of your track all the time. With these little wheels put on here, it will turn and hits the wheels and rolls, so it keeps that from happening. I want you to notice on our side-by-side lift, we do half-inch cables, so big old cables that go on here as well. We also go to a bigger pulley. It's a 5-inch pulley instead of a 4-inch pulley all the way around, so your radius is a little bigger. And as I was talking to you earlier about the cable keepers, I want to point them out to you now that we can see it. Right here, it's this bolt that runs up right beside the cable, keeps that on the shaft to where you don't have to worry about that cable ever coming off of it as well. And now I want to talk to you, told you about how we box in the underneath of our tracks for extra strength. You'll see right here, every bit of this is boxed in for the outside, and then underneath as well boxed in for extra strength. Also a benefit in our lifts, you'll notice it's in our cylinder. We have a flow restrictor built into our cylinder. It's a small orifice that the fluid has got to travel through as it's coming in or out. So it controls the speed of the lift going down and the speed of the lift going up. The purpose that's in there is if you ever had a hose that got broke, you don't have to worry about this dropping because now the fluid is going to come out at a faster rate. It's still got to go through that flow restrictor. Another option that I'd like to talk to you about with our lift is we have what's a height limiter. Let's say you have a 10-foot garage ceiling height and you're taking your cars up and you don't want to worry about running that car roof into your ceiling rafters. Well, we have a little switch, it's a micro switch, that you can mount to your post at whatever height it might be. So when the lift is coming up, it's going to push on this button. As soon as the button clicks, shuts the power off to the motor. And it's a simple wire kit that you can add to this lift to make it to where, for guys that don't have the 12-foot or the 14-foot ceilings, this is a nice feature where you don't have to worry about somebody else running your car up to the ceiling. Thanks for taking some time to view our product today. You know, I know it's so hard to choose which is the right lift for you. And on the internet, everybody tells you got the best lift. So I'm hoping I was able to show you some of the features and benefits to help you make an informed decision. You know, in all the lifts we build, we want to make sure that we have quality, safety, and strength built into each one of our lifts. We give you a 5-year complete warranty that covers everything best in the industry. So you will get a very good lift when you buy with Advantage Lifts. Again, my name is Tony and I appreciate you taking the time to view our video today. If you happen to be by our local car show, come by and check us out, where you can put your hands on our products and see the difference that we have in Advantage Lifts. We know we keep these in stock. Give us a call, click and order today, and we'll get one coming your way. Thank you from Advantage Lifts.